If your chocolate cake doesn't have 17 layers, well, you are missing out. This has a chocolate sponge, a mirror glaze, and a smooth chocolate cremeux. The first thing we're going to make is this luscious chocolate cremeux. So I've got eggs, sugar, cream, and milk. Then we whisk that constantly on a medium-low heat until it reaches 83 degrees Celsius on a digital thermometer. And then once at temperature, pour it through a sieve over your chocolate. Let it sit for just a couple of minutes, then we're going to blend it until it's smooth. Finally, whisk through a good pinch of flaky sea salt. Don't skip this bit. We're going to cover the surface with cling film, then chill it in the fridge for about 3 to 4 hours. Now the sponge is really a simple Swiss roll. A few elements, but easy enough to make. We've got sugar and egg yolks. And we just whisk until thick and pale. After a few minutes, it should end up thick and pale like this. We're going to set it to one side. Next, we make a quick French meringue, whisking egg whites on a low speed till frothy. Next, we add in that sugar, a tablespoon at a time. And once you've added all the sugar, just keep whisking until you have a nice, thick, stiff meringue. And then we're going to whisk in 1/3 at a time of that meringue mixture into the egg yolks. We've got our dry ingredients here, plain flour and cocoa powder. We're going to sift those over the top. Gently fold them through. Finally, we tip in the milk and the oil. Now, the oil is super important because this is what's going to make the sponge really flexible. And you should be left with a nice, smooth batter. Now, to bake this, you can by all means use a regular baking tray lined with baking paper, but I'm going to use a silicone sponge roll mat. This is going to be a much more even, consistent finish. And all I do is pour it in, and then I'm going to spread it out to the edges. And we're going to bake 2 of these. So we'll put this in the oven, bake it, and then repeat it with the second sponge. Once the cremeux's chilled, I mean, look at the amazing texture. It should still be slightly soft, and what we're going to do is spread it out onto our cooled sponges. Now you can use a palette knife by all means, but I'm going to use a raplette, which is a great tool for leveling your cremeux. Then we're going to cut the sponges into 8 equal pieces and then layer them on top of each other before chilling it. Once you finish stacking it, it's probably going to look a little bit wonky, rough around the edges. That's fine, because once we add the glaze, we're going to trim it down perfectly to size. We're going to chill this now in the freezer. When the cake is chilled, the cremeux shouldn't be wet to the touch anymore. What we're going to do is add a chocolate mirror glaze. Now this is totally optional, but it's going to give it a beautiful finish. We're going to pour that over the chilled cake. Let that glaze set just for a few minutes, then we're going to use a very sharp knife to cut this into 4 equal rectangles, trimming off those rough edges. And there you have all 17 layers. Trust me, I did the maths. You've got a soft sponge, a luscious cremeux, and this is one you have to try. The full recipe is on my website. Just click the link in my bio.